Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have with me Mr. Abin Choudhury, Vice President of Global Sales and Operations from Deque Systems APAC. Mr. Choudhury, very, very welcome to you.
Thank you.
And wonderful having you here. And first of all, let me extend my gratitude that you chose this excellent event to be partnered of, and we are very, humbled by that. And we look forward to your continued participation. Abinji, my first question coming to you. You had a wonderful presentation yesterday with a full house of audience, and I'm sure it was a fantastic topic, very much aligned with the overall scheme of things for this event. What was your key takeaways from that?
See, as a brand DQ, we are into the mission of inclusivity, and our mission, vision, passion is to make the digital world accessible for everyone, including people with disability, right? So, what we have observed so far is that a lot of countries globally has taken the step forward. For example, if you look at United States, they have a law called as ADA, American with Disability Act. Europe has a guideline called as EN 301549. Now, because of those, what happens is the entire banking industry, which is more consumer facing, has been able to implement accessibility. One, obviously, because of the law, but the other aspect, it is the right thing to do, right? So, coming to this summit and with a full house, I was kind of very impressed that people had that curiosity to understand what is digital accessibility about. Absolutely. Right? And as the sessions panned out, I also saw a lot of people coming to our booth, coming to us, coming to me specifically, and asking a lot of questions around the compliance. So that gave me an understanding that accessibility needs a lot of awareness, right? And the interesting part also is that digital accessibility, it's a mandate as of today because of the RPWD 2016 law that we have in India. We have a BIS 17802 standard that has been created. Plus, all this falls under the master guideline book of the WCAG compliance. So RBI has been pushing a lot of circulars, asking a lot of banks, and even SEBI has been following up with a lot of mutual fund companies and stuff, asking them to comply with this, because a truly inclusive banking experience is when everyone is able to access the same information without being discriminated.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think I got a lot of love from the audience around this topic, and it was very exciting to be able to present to a full house.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for those kind words, Abinji. Abinji, my next question to you is, how has been your experience so far in this 8th Annual India Banking Summit and Awards?
So first of all, I think a lot of thank you to the entire IBS team, because what has happened so far is we were not aware about this event. So this was our first year, and we are so fortunate that you guys have actually created us as a category partner, right? And I think the intent behind that was also very, very honest and inclusive, because you thought that what we are doing is a good service to the community, right? So I think a lot of kudos to your entire management team who thought that we could come in as a category partner. And I think the other aspect of being part of this Indian Banking Summit is that we understand that a lot of banks needs to have that compliance knowledge. And I've got a lot of leadership team from different banks come to us. Some of them, like for example, you have companies like Finastra who are already working with us, right? But then there is a lot of Indian banks who don't know about digital accessibility compliance, or they know very small bits and pieces. Like for them, the thought process is making accessibility is like just make things for the blind. But it's not that. It's a complete set of people with disability as a community that needs to be taken into account, right? So I think my experience was that as I was able to interact with people and as they understood the importance of inclusivity as a requirement, I actually saw a very positive response where most of them were saying, I would love to take the conversation to the next step, and we would also like to go to, we would want you to meet our leadership team. So I think that was a fantastic experience altogether.
Absolutely, and we are glad that we could provide you that platform as well. And we are, as I said, we are very fortunate for your association with us. My next question to you is a one-liner, if you may, on the future of the banking industry. And also along with that, where do you see DQ playing a major role as a solution provider to address the core challenges of the banking fraternity?
Wonderful. So I think first of all, the reason why DQ has been promoting about accessibility in the Indian banking space is because we understand this is going to become the next big thing, right? Which is the first thing. The second aspect is in terms of banking experience, which is now very, very customer centric, right? You as a bank being able to label that you are an inclusive banking shows that how customer centric you are, right? And our intent or our mission is to make sure that every banking, every fintech company in India is able to go ahead and comply with all the accessibility compliance laws, which is one. The other aspect we want them to is become self-sustainable in terms of being able to run the accessibility development processes in-house without depending on service providers to do the job, because that's more cost effective. And three, we want the entire Indian ecosystem of consumers who have to do banking on their day-to-day basis experience that inclusive experience, right? And have a trust on banks that they truly care about customers, right? So I think as a whole, I would say the goal of DQ is to promote inclusive banking experience for the entire Indian fraternity, and obviously that would need a lot of government support, the RBI pushing things more and more, and even making the laws and guidelines stricter, which I think is the next thing that's going to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for those words as well. And really, I mean, I agree with that. Thank you so much, Abinji, for your support and being part of the event. And also, I would like to tell you that we look forward to your panel session today, where you're also part of it. And I'm sure the value addition which you did with your presentation is going to be amplified by that panel as well. So, first of all, great having you here. And we look forward to having your continued participation in our future events as well. Thank you so much, Abinji.
Thank you.